Okay, now we are going to read some article of the free code camp about how technology is working. So there has been given some article like how to build a real-time notification system with Go and Kafka, how to build a large language model from scratch using Python, routing in Next.js, how to use app router in Next.js, mastering SQL for web developer full course, how to build a photo encryption app using stenography, beginner Python tutorial free Perl course for beginner, how to use Temper Monkey to improve website UI, how example, how to build a simple React application how to deploy an application to Kubernetes cluster, the calculator with several stateful nested architecture for beginner, introducing scrappark.org, development with large language model, build a Google Drive clone with Laravel PHP, how to use JavaScript and array method, how to use JSON to get it. These are the articles we are going to read about. Yeah, first going to read about Kafka, what it is. This day application need to have instant data access and processing capability, whether it is updating real-time stock trade for financial institution or navigating through real-time. The ability to process the act to do the real time is crucial. In this tutorial you dive in a mechanics of Kafka and then integrate it with Go to develop a real-time notification system. In order to understand this article fully, you should have a prior knowledge of Go routines and the gene framework and containerization like Joker. What does content? What is Kafka? How to set up project workspace? How to create the user notification module? How to set up Kafka producer? How to set up Kafka consumer? Let's let test the real-time notifications wrapping up. What is Kafka? Kafka is distributing event streaming platform initially developed by LinkedIn. Kafka was subsequently contributed to Apache Software Foundation, made it open source. Transition marked its role as a key participant in real-time data streaming. More than a simple communication tool, Kafka is event broker, a system that controls and handles event and message between various applications or services. It can handle massive daily event volumes as a distributed event streaming platform, guaranteeing that data is seamlessly transported and analyzed in real time. Apart from fundamental role in event broker, Kafka offered durability, scalability, and fault tolerance feature. It helped to ensure that large scale data stream reliability with low latency. Kafka core component. Now that I acquired with Kafka, let's dive into the main element that make event an event record the fact that something happened. It can without analysis representing the change in action. In the construct of real-time notification, you could consider an event as a follow event key representing the user ID and email. Porno started following you. Brokers. A Kafka broker is a server that runs Kafka software and store data. While large-scale production setup often involve multiple brokers across several machines, you use a single broker setup for the tutorial. Topics of Kafka are similar with file system, represent procedure, consumer partition, consumer groups, replicas, key raft, how to set up project workflows. Let's read about some time later. Let's read out how to build a large language model from scratch with Python. Have you ever fascinated to capabilities large language like GPT-4 but wonder how to actually work? If you want to uncover the mysteries behind this powerful world's our latest video growth has been video on YouTube channel is perfect for you. Perfect for you. In this comprehensive course, you will learn how to create a very large language model from sketching. Like early creating this course, he will teach you about the data handling, mathematical concept, of transformer activity that will power this linguistic juggernaut. Innovative was inspired for course about how to create a GPT from scratch by open source co-founder and Rich Karpati. OpenAI and Rich Karpati, is it developed by OpenAI co-founder? He is not co-founder, bro. Does he? I don't know. Is he? Director of Artificial Intelligence at Rolls-Royce at Tesla. Director of Artificial Intelligence Vision at Tesla. He currently works as OpenAI, where he specializes in deep learning and computer vision. Okay. Mm. Correct. How to create and GPT from script developed by OpenAI co-founder and Discrepancy. This course starts from comprehensive introduction, laying the groundwork. After getting your environment set up, you will learn about the character level tokenization, the power of tension over the arrays. Next, the course transition in the model creation. You will learn about train and validation split, the war big RAM model, the critical concept of input and target, then side into batch size of hyperparameter and through overview of iteration. You will switch between CPU and GPU processing and optical performance concept that enable embedding vector, dot product, matrix compatibilization, lay the groundwork of many advanced topics. The main section of the course provide in-depth exploration of transfer architecture. You will learn. Is this video? There's an article about it. Bro, I thought it's an article. Actually, this is summary of an video part. No, it's not article. Routing in Next.js. Next.js, how to use app router in your next app. Okay, mastering SQL for web developer full course. This one is also a video part. I am teacher how to build photo inscription apps in stenography. Is this also every article out here? Or actually, no, it's not. It's not, bro. It's not. Beginner tutorial for tutorial. A Python code example handbook. How many minutes? 7 minutes has been completed in this video. Let's continue with the process, brother. How to deploy an application core under cluster. I didn't want to read about it. That's good. In today's ever-changing technology landscape, companies are looking for reliable and scalable ways to run and manage software. And containers have transformed the way we have delivered software. Container orchestration platform have made it possible to deploy and manage containerized application. Kubernetes is not one such that has been game changer for the developer who are dealing with the challenges application development. Kubernetes has made it so easier to manage and scale development according to the. In this tutorial, I am going to help you understand that simplicity of Kubernetes. The first node of application and package it's using Docker. I show you how to use Kubernetes for setting web cluster and creating deployment servicing. Make sure you stay still the end of a maximum value. It will going to create out of full code some container orchestration. Container when efficient and isolated environment for your application. What is application grow? So does the container count. Juggling container in production can quickly turn into a headache, especially if you are using microservice. Faster deployment, monitoring and scaling, monitoring, load balancing suddenly become daunting task. That's what here container orchestration come in. It's automate these challenges and ensure that the container operating smoothly. It simplify the development and scaling process, thus streamlining your workflow. Adding to that, orchestration take the stage and facilitating communication between container across multiple hosts. When want to expose this container to outside the world, orchestration make it effortless. Orchestration, orchestration, orchestration. How to prepare for packaged application. The first task is to set node application package into Docker image. For this, you need to have a node installed in your system. If not, then follow this guide. You need to have filter either Node.js or just to throw the tutorial just to set up main to set up node application server. Just simple node application and evidence. Run a command initiate enter field. Packages will be created using specified dependencies. Create a file server just will contain your API. Create a separate data.json file that adds some mock data. You can generate mock data from mock. Run the node server command and check that. Building a Docker before building an image, check if your Docker installed. If not, in Docker, how this Docker file will look like. This command copy server there. I know about this. Run the following command to build Docker image. Check if your image was created with Docker image command. Now post the image to Docker Hub. Go to Cover and sign in. If you don't want to have account, go ahead and register for. Once you create repository, name node image and make it public. Now back to the terminal. Run Docker login and enter your username and password. Then tag the image your username. Push the image to Docker Hub and following command. Your image will push to Docker Hub. Here I explain the image creation by step. If you want to more explain how to dockerize a React application. Before diving into next step, you understand Kubernetes is why it needs filter. What is Kubernetes? Why it Kubernetes is an open source container orchestration plugin. Orchestration all about automating deployment, scaling and maintaining container. Kubernetes use declarative approach. Where you define the desired state of application, then Kubernetes will work toward achieving that state, ensure that the state is maintained. It enables close collaboration between deployment and operation team, also helping enable efficient DevOps practice. Problem that Kubernetes has traditionally multiple application used to deploy on physical service is presented a problem. If one application end up taking up more space than anticipated, then the other application would not get enough resources to always clean. Then came BEMs that allow other resource utilization than part of physical computer and security. What container provide much more reliability solution than BMs. To run the manager service discriminate load balancing, automatic scaling by scale, allowed monitoring and storage. Around 12 minutes has been completed this video. Let's move. Automated rollout. Kubernetes follow a declarative mechanism to achieve and maintain the desired state of application. Secret and config management. You can add configs and secret to deployment. Or can use whatever configuration. Key Kubernetes concept. Following the key concept, you need to know effective use of Kubernetes. What are the pods? Pods is a single development unit Kubernetes containing one or more container. Pods are responsible for running your application content. It is a single instance for running application. You can create a pod using simple YML config. Usually you do not need to create the explicit instead you development config. Even though a pod can run multiple containers, it is common practice to run. How do deployment work? Kubernetes aim to maintain desired state of application. A deployment describes desired state using a deployment configuration used to decide the number of replicas of your nodes, modify the pod configuration, roll back the previous state, scale up and down application more. When you create deployment, it will create the pods that will container specified. Once you create a deployment configuration, you do not need to create a separate configuration file for pod. You understand more in hand on a part. Read about what is services. Let's say you have a multiple application deployment as a pod. These applications do need to communicate with each other. Each pod has its own unique address, so you can simply use each IP address for communicate. Really, pods have a relatively some shorter lifespan. If any issue come up, pod is one. This new pods will different IP address. The other pod is still using IP, so the new pod will not discover all its pod. This is the Kubernetes cluster API servers. It is ruler control manager. Kubernetes. How to deploy Kubernetes? Yeah, yes. So far we have created a Docker file in the node application post installation. Let's install Kubernetes. We can install it through this setup and a Kubernetes cluster to deploy our application to need. In order to deploy an application, what does it require, brother? To deploy our application, you need to add a Kubernetes cluster to will run your ports and services. There are a lot of cluster provided by multiple code like for the application like Minikube is tool that let your single node create cluster on your computer. It's personal playground for trying your Kubernetes in your system. Refer to this guide for setting or needed. Writing or specific replicas, template specifics. There is specific create your code and deployment service. You can get it through this. You get it out it here. Access your application Minikube service application name. You can use localhost instead of as a sham. Scaling your application is so open and when increasing demand you may need scale your application to ensure optimal performance. To scale your application, increase the number of applications your deployment. Following command specify desired number of replicas and it will scale your pod. After running Our command Kubernetes get deployment to see the number of replicas has gone up. Alternative, you can modify the deployment about cloud providers. Okay, conclusion. Kubernetes properly contain our history. That's all can I say about this video. See you next time.